Okay, so I had my lateral meniscus transplant in here 3.5 weeks ago. So I think it was 20th of July. Yeah, so 3.5 weeks of physio. Initially, it was, well, it still is the 3 or 4 movements. Initially, it was restricted to about 30 degrees, and I wear this all the time, basically. So that's usually wrapped around my knee. Angles control how far I can bend my leg. It was fixed to 30 degrees, like I said, which was about there. Initial bits of physio was just up and down, just trying to get that 30 degrees range of motion, about 10 reps or 10 repetitions, 3 times a day. Second exercise was the leg raises, again nice and controlled, and 10 repetitions, 3 times a day. The other one you probably can't really see. Let me put that down a little bit. Is pushing this down into the ground. So he's trying to push this knee and contract as low as possible. You can see that I can't fully get it straight, or the knee to hyperextend, which I've had an issue with for about 14 years anyway, since my previous knee surgery. So yeah, about 10 repetitions of driving that leg down as far as you can. Imagine something's underneath it. Try and press down, try and get that leg straight, try and get the quad fired up. Again, 10 repetitions 3 times a day. And then just trying to mobilize the lower part of my leg and get the ankle moving, keep the blood flow there, etc. That was for the first 2 weeks. Well, still is now. For the first 2 weeks it was at 30 degrees, like I was saying. Now my brace is limited to 60 degrees. But when I tested my range of motion with the physio last week in my first session, my range of motion was about 70 degrees. So yeah, 2.5 weeks down the line with that physio, he said take the brace off, start icing my leg icing my knee 4 times a day, and take this to its range of motion where it's still comfortable. So that is still comfortable. Now instead of just doing the up and down, I have to hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With my foot as well, I would always do loads of these exercises with my toe pointing towards the ceiling, and the amount of work involved in this muscle here is unreal. So every time I do it, I will try and go through different angles with the ankle, as long as I'm still getting this range of motion. And again, I'll do that for 10 repetitions. Same thing again, the physio said, continue just doing the leg raises. And yet 2.5 weeks in, with the driving the knee down to the floor, instead of just trying to drive it down and then relax and then drive it down, relax and do it 10 times, it's now drive it down, hold again for the 5 seconds, 5, and relax, drive it down, try and hold for the 5 seconds, and again repeat 10 times. And then if you look right at the bottom, I'll do the same thing with my left leg driven down into the floor, leg hyperextends, you can't even see the gap, it's touching the floor. There you go. And then relaxed, driven down, this leg drive down, it moves about a couple of millimeters. Be interesting to see if I get that range of motion back, because I haven't had it, like I said, for about 14 years. Other things I'll kind of do are, I'll do bits of leg raises, and when I'm in the gym I'll do L-sits and things like that. or pull-ups with L-sit. So I'm still going to the gym probably about 3 times a week. Had a bit of a pants day yesterday where I didn't want to go, but I still went in there, still bench pressed 5 sets of 500 kilos, did various different pull-ups, where I was doing probably about sets of 8 pull-ups, bits of leg raises, and a couple of sets where it was just a static hold at the top and just getting everything fired up. I think the first set of those that I did, I held for about 10 seconds. And then I've gone and held for about 20 seconds for the last 2 sets just to see how long I could hold it for. The physio also said, do anything that I want as in the gym, as long as this foot doesn't go down, because it's non-weight bearing for the first 6 weeks. So this foot cannot touch the floor at all, basically, which I find is leaving me a bit crooked. Both sides of my back have had issues at different times. Sometimes in the gym when I'm bench pressing, I feel my back more than I feel well, I don't, to be fair, the pain with my knee isn't really that much. The knee at night time, it's probably more frustrating than anything. It's just irritating. I think the first maybe 3 or 4 days, there was pain, basically. There was pain and discomfort, but at that time I was on codeine and oral morphine, which wasn't very good, to be honest. It was fine, but you're drowsy and you don't feel the best with it. And I'm used to being 100 miles an hour, going from gym to gym to gym, doing different personal training sessions, hospitals, doing classes with kids with mental health issues and all sorts. And I'm back and forth going 100 miles an hour. And yeah, basically the last 3.5 weeks have slowed down. Like I said, the first 4 days was literally a full-on standstill. Being on the codeine and stuff like that. Then after that, stopped it, realised the pain had gone. The swelling was pretty big, to be fair. The swelling's still there, but not as bad as before. I've been concerned that kind of where the lateral meniscus is, almost when I bend my knee, it's almost like something protrudes from the right hand side. But when I get to kind of my full, or what is my full range of motion at the moment, it kind of goes back in, and I'm just worried that, is that normal? Has something gone wrong? But it's been there as soon as I was able to bend my leg, or as soon as the dressings came off and I could actually see. I noticed the difference. But again, the physio kind of reassured me and said, you know what, there's going to be different sensations and different feelings with the knee. They also said once I can put my foot down again in 3 weeks' time, that it's just going to be like we're learning to walk again. I've had kind of a couple of massage, well, I haven't had professional massages or anything like that, but the other half has massaged the bottom of my foot a couple of times, which has been amazing because the foot hasn't touched the floor. I'll try and roll my feet on one of these, just to have some sort of sensation through the bottom of my foot, and use that sometimes on the bottom of my foot and all over, to be fair. With my back issues, little lacrosse ball, sometimes I've used like a solid pet ball from Asda or Tesco's. I'll roll around on that loads and kind of just massage into my lower back, into my glutes. I'll probably do a little video of that at some point as well too. And yeah, I've been down the gym intending to have a proper workout, and sometimes it just turns into actually like a therapy kind of thing where I'll roll around on this and loosen up my back and my glutes and just generally feel a little bit better. Yeah, so that's it for now. Main things are 3 weeks in, range of motion improving. Still, when it gets to this point, I still kind of wonder, am I ever going to be able to bend my leg fully? Because right now, that is the absolute max. which I think is still about 70 degrees. It might have gone a little bit past 70 degrees. 10 repetitions of that with a hold, driving knee down into the floor, the bottom part of the knee there, which for me doesn't really happen too well. And the leg raises, they're the main three. I've also been doing like single leg deadlifts on my left leg, the good leg, single leg squats in the gym, just trying to keep ticking over with everything. But yeah, I'll do another update soon. See if there's any other exercises, and I might put some other gym stuff up in.